Can't wait to welcome you back here to Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on the 2nd of November. It's Cape Classic Day, Need for Speed Sprint Day, and also the Southeaster Sprint. There'll be the 3 feature races to be held here in Cape Town. 19 high-quality races around the country to look forward to, and we really can't wait to sink our teeth into it. Because it's a feature day, because we return to HQ, brought in the cavalry. Brandon, good card, isn't it?
Absolutely, Al. Thank you very much. Always great to be sitting alongside you, and obviously we've spent a bit of time at HQ, we spent a bit of time at Milnerton, and I can tell you there's a good energy going around at the moment amongst the grooms, amongst the jockeys, amongst the trainers. You can see everybody's got a pep in their step, so we're certainly looking forward to being back, Al.
Yep, so we lead up, of course, to the start of the Cape Summer Festival, which will be the 23rd of November. That'll be the Cape Punters Cup. Then leading into the World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas, which is 2 weeks later. A week after that, the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas in 2025. We all know what we start with in January with the Lomarock Kings Place, followed by the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met at the end of January. But all that is in the future. What about the now? Well, don't forget, perfectly placed. Brandon and I have done the rounds. I stayed at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Brandon was sent to Milnerton. But very interesting bunch of guests that we brought into your attention for the Saturday card, so you can get all the information. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Cape Racing channel as well. There'll be lots going on in the coming months. Right, race number 1. What's the betting, Brandon?
Yeah, let's call up that betting. Number 2, Fencing Captain, 5-2. Number 6, Elizabeth Gold, who I think galloped at Hollywoodbets Durbanville for our breakfast morning at 3-1. 7, Beautiful Winter at 9-2. The 4, Crims at 13-2. And after that, you're getting 9-1 and better. It does look to be an open race. Obviously, this was Fencing Captain. I think we've been for him a number of times. He's urgently going to need the unkindest cut of all sometime in his career. How do you see race number 1 unfolding?
So Richard Fries in Joburg, he's obviously got an engagement with Dave the King and various others. So Corne Orfa rides Fencing Captain, and I think this also just ready to win. He's got the most compelling form in the race, Brandon. There are a few horses here that you can make a case for. I think Ricky Maingard's horse, number 7, Beautiful Winter, is interesting enough on the back of a pleasing debut. We know that Ricky's not one to ready them up first time out, and they'll come on naturally. But I think Fencing Captain's probably likely to win. His runs, his near misses suggest that things look like they're going to fall into place. He has been costly to follow. I wouldn't start off with a massive bet on Fencing Captain, probably just a small one, because he has been that horse that just failed to get the job done. So Beautiful Winter does stand as a little bit of a danger. Elizabeth Gold, as you mentioned, did gallop at the Hollywoodbets Durbanville Gallops, which was 2 weeks before this race meeting. Cream's a bit of a basket case. He gets warm before the races, so that's probably why he hasn't kicked on from what looked like earlier promise. And I think Phil the Fluter, if you listen to Justin Sayth's comments, 1,000 metres will be a bit too short, but I think that he looks like he might develop into a nice racehorse and will win soon. So does Justin, just not over 1,000 metres. We've got one of your friends, Cliff Swallow, as well. But my suggestion in race number 1 is I think Fencing Captain, number 2 on the card, will win. Right, let's go on to race number 2 now. It's the first of the features, the Need for Speed Sprint. Only a field of 6, and this will be one of the first indications whether Lion Rampart is going to kick on as a 3-year-old for the Hollywood Syndicate. Vaughan Marshall is, of course, the trainer, and Sean Veal takes around. What price is he, Brandon?
You're getting even money, Ellie. I did spend some time at Milnerton, as you rightly mentioned. That was on Thursday morning, so a lot of these horses would have had their final touches put in. I did speak to Mr. Marshall. Word on the ground is that he's flying back at home, and I think our breakfast gallop morning was really impressive. I know that there were obviously horses like One Stripe on that occasion that worked, but this horse, Lion Rampart, for me, was easily the most impressive gallop back over there. He's going to have a big chance. Mr. Marshall did say, listen, this is not his cup final. This will be the start of his summer festival campaign, but he's good enough to win a race of this nature. The concern being the 1,000 metres. He's obviously been rested, but I think he's got enough speed, Ali, to see that the 1,000 metres won't be a problem at all. Good to see that Sean Veal gets his chance to ride this impressive colt. A horse like number 2, Handsome Prince, he's got to have some sort of a chance. Grant Van Niekerk gets the ride for Justin Snaith. Very good looking individual. I know that Justin Snaith on a number of occasions has said, listen, when this horse gets back to HQ, Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, he's a horse we need to follow closely. And after that, a horse like number 4, Luhamba Pambeli, I think that's how we say it. I know that you've got the pronunciations on point. But Gareth Van Sale, he actually walked out the box as I was busy chatting to Gareth. There's not much to him, Al, when you look at him. But I know that there was lots of money around first time when he absolutely hacked up. He's now in the Western Cape, a good run at Hollywoodbets Greyville last time out. Let's see where he matches up in this sort of a race, like a horse like Lion Rampart. So for me, I've tipped a bar pot Jackpot, Ellie. I'm going to dive straight into that. Perhaps we can put that slide up. I'm going to spend 108 Rand in the first leg. I'm going to bank a number 1 Lion Rampart. Second leg, we're going 3, 5, 7, and 11. By 1, 3, and 4. By 2, 4, and 8. By 1, 8, and 9. And at the back, we're going to banker the 5 to 1 Shock Boundless Energy. That's number 6. We're going to spend 108 Rand if you want to take a full unit. It starts now in race number 2. So let's move along. Let's go to race number 3. This will be the first leg of the place accumulator, and it's an interesting race. We'll call up the field in just a moment. Alistair's going to take us through the race. It goes off at 1:30. It's the celebrating Centurion member, Andreas Jacobs, the birthday maiden, played for fillies and mares over 1,400 meters. I think it's a great race, Ali. I'm going to give you the betting as some sort of a guide because I know that you do like to get that early indication. 22 to 10, number 11, Tuscan Romance. Number 5, Ocotillo's at 7 to 2. 9 to 2, the 7, Goodness Gracious Me. And after that, you're getting 5 to 1 and better.
First things first, Andreas Jacobs, the brains behind Main Chance Farms. They'll be back behind the best turned out during the festival. They got Consensus in race number 1 on the card, probably going to be more effective over further. So, Brandon, I've taken the stance here that 3 horses can win, and what you will tell when we get to the end of this race is through my place accumulator, I'm prepared to go in with 2 of them, and if they run 1, 2, and 3, it doesn't really matter as far as PA is concerned. So, who's going to win the race? Well, that's going to be dicey. Tuscan Romance, to me, looks like a horse who's ready to win. She was touched off last time by Garden of Eden, who's held in very high regard for the Turf Talk Syndicate. They were miles clear of the 3rd horse, but now Tuscan Romance has got a difficult draw to overcome. So that's taken the wind out of my sails ever so slightly in terms of really backing her to the hilt and having a full go on her. I think number 5, Ocotillo from Eric Sanders' yard. Out of Grade 1 winning mate Campharatus, she won the Empress Club Stakes for Robbie Hill in Joburg. Campharatus also ran the Hollywoodbets Derby in July when she was going around the course. Ocotillo looks like a lovely, big, substantial filly that's going to have good days to come. Sipasihle Tlengwa, it's his first ride around the bend at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth as well, so remains to be seen how he'll handle it. I don't think the wind is going to be all that strong, but obviously they go a slower pace here at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, so he'll be under strict instructions from Eric Sands. Whatever those instructions are, they'll be through Sipasihle, who's riding very well in Durban for what it's worth. And I like the progress that she's likely to make, so she's the most interesting horse for me, number 5, Ocotillo. And Justin Snaith was bullish about number 7, Goodness Gracious Me. Big improvement from run 1 to run 2, and I think she'll continue that trend. Grand Finicake takes the ride in the colours of the Divines, obviously the famous Jetmaster colours. So in the place accumulator, it doesn't, in my book, I'm going to go with 2 horses, and between the 3 numbers at the top of the boards, I think you can juggle them around. So I'm going 5 and 7 in the first leg. If you went with 5 and 11 or 7 and 11 as opposed to my numbers, I wouldn't put you off that. So 5 and 7 my play, by 1, 3 and 6, eerily similar to Brandon's bar pot numbers, by 2 and 6, by banker 8 in leg 4, by 3 and 6, by banker 2 in the penultimate leg, that's Empire State, by 5 and 7 at the back. Right, let's go on to race number 4. It's the first leg of the pick 6, celebrating Centurion member Countess Labia's birthday. This is a class 4 for fillies and mares. 2:05 is when the pick 6 gets underway, and I think that this first leg is probably the hardest race. Brandon's got the unenviable task of tipping it. The market, what does it say? Because I think we need all the help we can get you.
Well, among the clouds, your 22 to 10 favourite, Grant Finicake rides for Justin Snaith, of course, in the silks of Nick Johnson. 4 Green Isle at 9 to 2, 7 Plum Puddings at 9 to 2, and then Princess of Bayou, decent price, 11 to 2, and after that you're getting 6 to 1 and better. Elliot's a nightmare. I don't think it's the sort of race you're going to rush off and put the rent money. I think you're going to have to go wide in terms of your pick 6s. But having a look at it, let's start with number 1, Princess of Bayou. I did speak to Mr. Marshall. She's in a good space back at home. She's a gutsy filly, and Oswald Noach, a man that really deserves opportunities here in the Western Cape because he works very hard and he knows this filly very well. So from a good draw, he's got options. I don't think he'll be too far off the speed, and she'll fight all the way to the line. 3 Among the Clouds, she's knocking at the door. Obviously a small weight advantage in her favour from that last run. Her last few runs, she's done absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, her whole career, she's done nothing wrong, this filly. If there's ever a horse that deserves to win another race, it is Among the Clouds. Grant Finicake will give her every chance from what looks to be a decent draw. 4 Green Isles, interesting, Ali. When this horse won her maiden, I thought, all right, she's probably going to battle. But her comeback run over 1,200 metres, a trip far too short for her, was very impressive. She could be a horse that could blow them all away. I mean, with that sort of a rating of 78, there's still lots of room for improvement for her to improve, and I think this is a better trip of 1,800 meters. And then one more mention for number 5, Pentalina. I know that she wants to be switched off. We've heard Richard Fourie a number of times saying, listen, maybe we force her too much, putting her in the race and on the speed. So now that they've learned that she wants to be dropped out, yeah, at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, she could be very effective with only 53.5 kilograms, and even a horse like 7 Plum Pudding must have some sort of a chance. So, Ali, you can make a case for all of these horses. What have I done in terms of a suggested play when it comes to race number 4? I've gone with the obvious. Hopefully it pays a couple around on the tote, but when you come to race 4, not only is it the start of the pick 6, but I'm going to go and take the swinger a few times, 1 and 3. All right, so we move along. Let's go to the first jackpot. Race number 5 is where we're off to. The 5th race goes off at 2:45. Race Cape powered by Hollywoodbets. It's a Class 3 event over 1,600 meters. I thought I had a tough time trying to find a win in the previous race. Race number 5 is a nightmare as well. I'll call up the betting for Alistair and he'll take you through his selections. Number 8, Future Turn at 22-10. 2, the Grey King at 5-2. It's 11-2, number 6, Aspect. Willie Johns at 13-2. And it's 7-1 in bets of those.
I think it's an easier race than race 4. I think race 4 you could run time and time again, run 8 different times to get 8 different winners. I think in race number 5, I think we can isolate it to just a few here, Brandon. I'm very keen to see how the Grey King goes. I think he's got better days ahead of him, the son of Vercingetorix. Probably as a 3-year-old, his own worst enemy, if you think back to the Daily News 2000, which granted was an absolute mess of a race, with saddle slipping and pace being slow, with William Ironarm going up to the front, yanking back of the drill hall, the Grey King saddle slipping, etc. And then on Hollywoodbets Durban July Day, he stayed on very nicely to finish. A well-beaten second by Diani, but still a good second. And I think that the further he goes, the more he races. He's probably one of those untapped, underappreciated 4-year-olds now. JP Funamava takes the ride for Justin State. He is now the poster boy of syndication as well, having been sold for over 1.2 million rand. So I'll be very interested to see how he goes, and perhaps more crucially, where he goes through the summer. Met's probably coming a bit too soon. He's never a Lomarock King's Plate horse, but I think by the end of the season, KZN might well open up for him as a potential fruitful venue for him as the season goes on. So number 2, the Grey King, an easy horse to put up and recommend. But I'm also interested in number 6, Aspects. He lost that winning streak last time out, which was never going to remain unbeaten forever after the wind operation that he had. But the way that he knuckled down, won his races, did the job, went through the divisions without winning by too far, just had that determination to get across the line and win races that perhaps he shouldn't have. I think that this horse is just an easy horse to follow. He's an easy horse to recommend. Obviously, the handicap is making life harder for him, but even in defeat last time, running 4th behind Oliver, was still a meritorious run, a run with a lot of credits. And I think he'll probably be better here. I know he did very well at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, but he's, I think, maybe 1 length better at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. And now that he's got the hang of things, Marshall's Yard finished Hollywoodbets Durbanville with a bang. This is a good time to be coming to hand. For me, he is probably peaking at the right time, Vaughan Marshall horses. So I'm going to go box swingers here. Numbers 2 and 6, the Grey King and Aspect, with respect for another trial like Tyrion Lannister, with respect for Solar Power, who's very Jekyll and Hyde, hits and miss in the consistent Future Turn. I think they all got some sort of say, but I think between the Grey King and Aspect, 2 of them will run into the top 3 at least. Right, let's go on to race number 6 now. It's the listed Southeaster Sprint. Race runs at 3:20. It's the first leg of the second jackpot, and this is obviously a starting point for a lot of horses for the remainder of the season. And I think there are a few horses here that probably have a lot of progress to come, the likes of Mu Capitano, and also further down the betting boards, the Abdicator, who's proving to be quite frustrating for Brett Crawford because we know the regard that he holds the horse in. So what does the market say here, Brandon?
Yeah, so Mu Capitano, number 8, your 4-1 favourite. The 9 Dance Variety, I thought his comeback run very good at 9-2. 16 Street at 11-2. At 6-1, the 5, the Abdicator. And I continue to look down the page, and I can't believe the price of Future Variety at 8-1. Look, it's not an easy race, Alistair. You've made mention that it is the start of the second jackpot. Highly recommend this bet. Let's start with number 1, Future Variety. He should be ready to go now. I'm always of the opinion 1,000 metres up the straight here at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. He's a dangerous horse. I know he's got 62.5, and I'm sure races like the Cape Flying will probably be his main mission a bit later on in the year. But he's a very smart sprinter, and I happened to catch a glimpse of him working during the course of the week. He's really floating, number 1, Future Variety, so he must go into all bets. I don't believe for 1 minute that he'll start 8-1 race time. I think that's going to shorten up drastically. The Abdicator had no luck in his last run. Let's put a big black line through that. Unfortunately, he fly jumped when the starter said go. He was always on the back foot, and as he was about to make his run on that inside rail, the door shut in his face. So I'm prepared to give him another chance, and we know that Brett Crawford thinks highly of the Abdicator. He has got a mind of his own, Alistair. We've seen things go upside down for him, but if he rocks up at the races and he wants to run, he's got a big chance, this 4-year-old Bay Gelding. 8 Mal Capitano. Well, I was fortunate to spend some time with Albert Steyn and Pitt Steyn. He really worked well. He had some fast work this morning. I really thought that he caught the eye. Albert did say to me, listen, he's nowhere near his peak fitness. We've got some big races lined up for him. So you need to put him on just based on the fact that his recent form has been very good.
Best handicapped horse in the Cape, by the way.
Correct. And I promise you, Alistair, just looking at him in horse flesh, I've only been here a short time, but from what I've seen in the last couple of months to now, he's furnished, he's really come on, and I think the summer season is a horse that we need to follow closely. And then 9 Dance Variety is a hold-up horse, Alistair. I've spoken to Adam Marcus a number of times. You've got to sit on him. As we've always said, wait to see either the commentators white in the eyes or the judges white in his eyes and then pull the trigger. His comeback run at Hollywoodbets Durbanville was exceptional. Adam made no secret that he was going to need the run in a big way. He's going to come on in a big way, number 9, Dance Variety. So please include him as well because he's got a striking turn of foot. It's not an easy race. What are we going to do? How are we going to make some money in race 6? I've tipped a Jackpot 2. It's my suggested play of all my bets on the day. I highly suggest the Jackpot 2. I'm spending 480 Rand. I'm going 1, 2, 5, 8 and 9 in the first leg, by 2, 3, 4 and 6, by 2, 6, 7, 9, 11 and 12. And the last leg we're going 5, 7, 10 and 13. Let's go to the next of our live races on Saturday afternoon. It's race number 7. Don't go anywhere because now we're moving into a grade 3. It's the Cape Classic. It goes off at 5 to 4. It is over 1,400 meters. I'm going to call up the betting for you, Alistair, because I'm very excited to see where these 3-year-olds fit. 5 Great Plains 2 to 1. 4 All Out for 6 at 22 to 10. 7 Makazoles at 4 to 1. And you're getting 6 to 1 and better those. Are you surprised to see this price about Great Plains?
Very much. Well, not so much Great Plains. I'm more surprised to see the price on Boundless Energy and Captain West, the 2 lowest rated horses in the race. And I think that they're going to have a big say in the Cape Classic. The irony about this race is that although there's no One Stripe and various other horses from around the country who are likely, hopefully, to come down for the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas and various other features through the season, these horses are all sort of missing pieces of a puzzle that haven't quite gone into the puzzle yet. And I think that we're going to place a couple of pieces come 5 to 4 on Saturday afternoon. Very excited by Boundless Energy. He is very wet. He's always been wet behind the ears, and that is obviously going to sort of furnish out and iron out as his career goes on. But the fact that he's winning completely untested, he's almost playing in his races, playing in the parade ring, it's all a big game for him. And he's still getting the job done. Alda De Meyer takes her out for Candice Bass Robinson, and also while we're talking about Candice, all the best to Isi Fungu Fungu and Beach Bomb this weekend at Delmar on the Breeders' Cup. I mean, we're all going to have our eyes peeled to our South African heroes. Boundless Energy from Candice Bass Robinson's yard has gone on a streak now 2 in a row and looks the part in winning those races. Although not winning cozily as far as the margin suggests, he's doing enough by having fun. And I think when the penny drops, maybe coming to Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, he will do that, because the more he races, the better he'll become. He's certainly not the finished article yet. I don't expect him to be after the Cape Classic, but I expect him to take a big step forward. And Captain West, I mean, we're obviously lucky enough to go to Gallup's Hollywoodbets Durbanville and Hollywoodbets Kenilworth and Milnerton. Not that we've been to Philippi where Brett Crawford is, but Brett's made no bones, made no secret to the fact that he thinks Captain West is very progressive and has got something about him, and he's a horse that is going to step forward significantly. I know that the handicapper cannot do much with Captain West and Boundless Energy with the way that they've been placed compared to Great Plains and Makazole, who are feature race winners as 2-year-old, and also talk to the master Mauritius Kestrel and All Out for 6, who were obviously very, very good 2-year-olds that ran their races to the likes of One Stripe. These two 3-year-olds are totally unexposed, and I think that we're going to know a lot more about them. So I'm going to take a complete stab in the dark with these 2 horses. I'm going to put it up as box swingers, 3 Captain West and 6 Boundless Energy. It's a big chance. Could end up with egg on my face, but I think both these 3-year-olds are very good, very talented. They've got wins to come, and they could be very, very dangerous, being underappreciated by the handicapper in the Cape Classic this year. Now we go on to race number 8. CRS thanks you for your support. Class 5, the penultimate race on the card. And again, we got some very promising youngsters that look like they might be unexposed, that look like they could have some good days to come. Talking about Empire State and Aristotle especially. Brandon can give us his analysis in a moment, but before we get there, what does the market say?
So they've got 7 Aristotle at 5-1, very weak favourite. Number 2 Empire State at 11-2, 9 Big Unit at 11-2, 12 Daz Goot, whose best form has come at Hollywoodbets Durbanville's at 13-2. And after that, it's 8-1 and better those. All right, so Ellie, I'll take it away. Again, it's a nightmare. I don't want to sound like a stuck record, but this is a very competitive race. You're probably going to have to include a good few horses just to make sure you're safe in the exotics. I want to start with a horse like number 2 Empire State. I thought his first run was exceptional over 1,200 meters. He was probably very unlucky not to have won on that occasion. They've made no secret, Candice Bass and Aldo think highly of this individual. He has been put away after a very impressive win over 1,200 meters at Durbanville last time out. So now that he steps up in trip, Alistair, which does look to be a suitable trip for him, 14 a mile, I think you're going to see big improvement from number 2 Empire State. I'm just looking at his rating of 89. I am of the opinion, and I'm not sure Candice will be happy with me saying this, but I believe in time he's going to be a lot higher than that. He's going to win his fair share of races, number 2 Empire State. The 6 Marvel William, Mr. Marshall agreed with me. He could be tremendous value. That was a great run behind Boundless Energy last time, an improving 3-year-old. So see how Boundless Energy goes in the previous race. If he runs a cracker, if he happens to win it, I'm sure Marvel William, despite the big weight of 61.5 kilograms, he's got to be factored into the play. And then 7 Aristotle, you were telling me off air that Justin Snaith, for those perfectly placed interviews, was very upbeat about this horse, Alistair. I mean, you can probably tell me a little bit more. Was there a little bit of confidence with him?
I think there always was coming to this time of his career. You know, the fact that he got beaten once at a short price here at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, that was a bitter pill to swallow. But he's playing the long game with Aristotle. Well bred, obviously, out of a Grade 1 winner in the form of Athena. Justin's confident of a big run. And as you said, weak favourite. But you're right, a competitive race, but competitive and tricky for all the right reasons.
Absolutely. So there's a horse like Aristotle that could be anything as well. His win over 1,200 meters was super impressive, and he'll go 14-16 in time. And then the last horse I want to chat about, Alistair, number 9, Big Unit. There's no doubt for me he's a better horse over 1,400 meters. I know it's not going to be easy with 61.5 on his back, but if you watch his last run, he cruised up to them, and just that last 100 meters or so, he kind of had enough. So I think 1,400 meters for Big Unit in the silks of Jason Murugasa. I'm expecting him to be competitive as well. All right, I'm not sure how we're going to make money over here when it comes to race number 8. I love my swingers. I'm going to go with 7 and 9. That's probably the right way to go. Aristotle and number 9, Big Unit. They're decent prices. I think any bet you take when it comes to this race, it's going to pay either way. But if you are looking to strike, if you're looking to have a bet when it comes to race 8, you need to be on at 4:30. All right, let's go to the last race, race number 9, which goes off at 3 minutes past 5, and then we'll all be sitting back enjoying the coverage coming through from Delmar, of course, the Breeders' Cup meeting. Race 9, the Hollywoodbets Bright Future Class 4, 4 fillies and mares. It's over 1,000 meters. The last race, 7 Daphne's Daughter, 3-1 is the favourite. The 5 the Charleston at 33-10, 3 Icy Lancaster at 5-1, and after that you're getting 10s and better.
Okay, so Brandon, when I looked at this race the first time, I immediately said, I can't believe I have to tip this race, and I went through it, and I made up my mind that there are a few horses here that are better than Class 4 for fillies and mares. Daphne's Daughter, the Charleston, even Furious Queen, I think, is probably better overall than a Class 4, and likewise Champagne Kisses. But the more I looked at it, Brandon, the more I like Daphne's Daughter. I think that she's going to take all the beating under Grand Finique. She's a 3-1 favourite. At the moment, I think that's superb value. She started her career quite slowly, but she got to grips. She won her 3rd start. But the run that really sets her up is last time out to Be Merry. Be Merry, a subsequent winner. I'm hearing very good things coming out of the camp of Be Merry, and I suppose if you can run 2 lengths to Be Merry, then you've got to be a huge danger with this Class 4 company. I like the way that she's stepping up all the while. Again, it looks like Justin's playing the long game with Daphne's Daughter to get her to the right mark, winning as many races as she can rather than getting, looking for black type unnecessarily and sort of eliminating her career through an inflated rating. So I think number 7, Daphne's Daughter, going to take all the beating. I'm comfortable with that. I was not comfortable when I looked at that race 24 hours ago, but now after knowing what Be Mary's getting up to and the fact that she's so progressive, I think that if Be Merry was in this race, as simple as that, she'd start probably odds on, take all the beating, probably win this race, and if Daphne's Daughter is hypothetically 2 lengths inferior to her, then she'll be a huge runner. So I'm going to put her up as a win bet in the 9th and last at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on the Saturday. And that is a wrap. Thank you so much for watching. We are due to be back here twice next week, midweek and also next Saturday for the Western Cape Fillies Championship. Brandon will be calling both those meetings. I'll be up in the commentary box this coming Saturday. And Delmar, Final say on that. Looking forward to the Breeders' Cup. Fantastic to have some South African flavour internationally for the first time in a while.
Absolutely. I mean, horses like City of Troy, it's got to be enough to keep you up, Alistair. And then our local horses being Isivungu and Beach Bomb, there's no doubt that they're going to keep many of us up. And I want to just, on my side, and for the rest of the racing fraternity, I mean, just to Owen, to Devon, the Hollywood team, I know that Anthony Dalpesh and all of them are there. All the best with Isivungu. There's been some good hype. I know they're trying to get some of the Americans to pronunciate it, which is interesting.
Isivungu. Isivungu. We'll see you next time from all of us at Cape Racing. Have a good one.